Be good. Be very good.
Hey guys, it's me, Yaya Diamond. What's up? How you doing? I have an amazing guest on the show again. He is still amazing. He will always be amazing, and I am so happy this time that we have him on the camera. Yay! I want to welcome author Richard Beeson to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
That's nice, very nice.
Thank you. So I wanted to ask you, we talked about this before, but you have a new book now. So Sound Matters. I'm gonna go ahead and share the poster that I put up earlier. So it's Sound Matters. This is beautiful. So, with all of the things that you're doing, I wanted to find out from you, how did you get into Sound Matters, and what made you write this particular book?
Well, what it is, Yaya, is a thesis that I was writing for my master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was trying to do is find something that people need to keep up to date with or find out how music and sound started out.
Okay. All right.
Now, the book starts really back in the 1890,
Okay. Wow.
and it gives an idea of all the um, instruments and things that were being used to get sound into the homes and
Mhm.
into um, everyday life.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Now it's the really the technology that is uh, I'm trying to work with
Mm-hmm.
to show all the different types of technology that has been used from the old uh, oh, I've forgotten words. Um,
Take your
lost
time.
for words. Yeah, yeah.
It's okay. Take your time. Take your time. It's all right.
It's from the old cylinders, the music cylinders,
Mm-hmm.
and then uh, the old 78s
Mm-hmm.
and the old 45s going up into the 33 RPMs,
Mm-hmm.
and how the technology has progressed so that it can come in instead of just having to go to a big hall to listen to music. You've got it walking around with yourself, by
Yeah.
yourself.
I mean, the progression of sound, that
Yes.
it started off slow, but definitely has sped up in the last 50 or so years. Um, did you talk about that?
In the beginning, there was no um, technology that was available to each individual person
Mm-hmm.
to use as they wanted to use it.
Right.
Um, the only way that people could listen to music was to go into a great big hall or something like that, where there was orchestras and um, all that sort of thing that they had to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on where they were sitting in the hall or wherever they were listening to in the home or something, the sound varies. because of the way in which the sound is being projected from the orchestra to the people listening.
Mm-hmm.
If they're at the back of the hall, they can get sound bouncing off the walls. If they're down near the front, some of the sound goes over the top of them. If they're to one side, they get sound bouncing off the wall,
Yeah.
and all this sort of thing distorted the way that people could hear music
Yeah.
or any
Yeah.
sound.
That's crazy.
When the technology of the uh, was being appreciated
Mm-hmm.
and could be used by each individual, the technology had to keep up with all the requests of how they can or where they can listen to it, whether it's got to be in the home in the big gramophones or
Mm-hmm.
whether it's in a little radio that they can listen to it, but that they haven't got any control over really,
Mm-hmm.
except for volume. And then people wanted to say, all right, well, I can listen to it at home, but I want to go and listen to it when I'm on the beach or when, in the car or whatever else.
Yeah.
And so the technology had to grow and grow and grow and grow
Mm-hmm.
until such time as they got into the and in the cars, the different sized um, pieces of equipment that were in cars to listen to,
Yeah.
and nobody in if I had grandchildren, the people of that age in the 20s
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how music came to be because they just had it on tap.
Yeah. They did. We did. I'm
And
not gonna lie. We did.
I mean that if they don't know where it comes from, how can they
Yeah.
tell people how to use it properly?
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Well, there are just so many different technological advances that we've made with music, with different audio, with different things like, the doorbell, the refrigerator bell, the talking, the audio, the AI. I mean, there's just so many leaps and bounds on audio that people don't realize we've made. And it's not just music. It's, speech. It's the sounds that we hear every day. It's the ambulance sound that we hear. That's also sound. Inside the car sound, outside the car, in the house. I mean, wow. What is it that you focus on in your book?
Just the technology, the
Mm,
progress in the technology. I try
mm,
and get all the different types of technology up until about the 1950s.
yeah, yeah. The
Um,
1950s. Wow. Mm-hmm.
After that, it gets just too quick and too much to deal with. And as I was doing, my original thesis that I was doing for my master's degree started off at 80,000 words.
Mm, that's a lot of words.
That's a lot of words.
Yes.
And
Wow.
I wanted to do it right up until about the 1960s, 1970s.
Mm.
My teacher said, look, that is only good for a PhD or
What?
something a bit higher. So he said,
Wow.
chop it down, chop it down, chop it down, chop it down. He said, all I want is something in about 20,000 words.
Mm.
And I said, I can't put all this work into 20,000 words. It's got to be more than that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'll chop it down to 60,000. He said, no, 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 that's still too much. So we came to an agreement that I would do 40,000 words. And I think there's 39,950 or something like that words in the book.
You came pretty close there. You came pretty close. Wow. Wow.
It's
So,
not it's not a boring book. I don't think
right.
it's a boring book. It's something that if people are interested in music
Yeah.
and they don't know what's been going on and how it came about and how it came to be that you and I had small radios, and then we came into the AI stuff and all that sort of which I couldn't cope with. So I just said, all right, we'll leave it down at 40,000. I'll get it printed and see what happens.
Wow. Well, I have to say that you're right. And I said this earlier that it speeds up, tremendously speeds up from like the 1960s, 70s, and then it just goes crazy. It just gets, like you said, you can't deal with it. It's too much. But I think
Yes,
the precipice of and the foundations of sound, and getting this sound into people's homes, in their cars, is technologically a miracle within itself, because like you said, people had to go somewhere to listen to it. um when it comes to sound technology, what would be the national versus the international audience? I mean, was there any cohesiveness between the two advances?
it was so gradual, and people didn't realise that they needed something, and then somebody said, "Oh, well, I'll do this and try it out," and then they come across something that somebody else does a little bit better and
Mm,
smaller and louder and deals with different sorts of things like advertising, um, people's uh, needs.
mm-hmm.
It, things just change so much, and with uh, technology changing from loudspeakers to little uh, battery operated things,
Yeah.
you couldn't do much different.
Yeah. Yeah. What about cultural differences? Were there any cultural differences, when it came to this and the sound technology and the influence?
Yes, there were. It was mostly because people wanted to um, discover what other people were doing so that they could use their sound or give
Mm,
their sound to another culture.
hmm.
Um, like, for instance, if I'm looking at Australia, you've got our Aboriginals, which
Yeah.
have um, a different culture to us, and some of the white coloured people, white skinned people, said we want to give you what what our culture is, so we can join up together and make sure that we enjoy both cultures.
Hmm. Wow.
Then there's cultures within Europe, within America,
Yeah.
within the Canada and United States and Mexico, Mexico and Brazil, all different cultures, and everybody wanted to. Or when people were traveling, they
Hmm.
wanted to listen to other cultures' music or
Yeah.
sounds,
Hmm.
and it wasn't that one culture dominated. It was one culture had often different ways of communicating.
Hmm.
Some of it was sound, some of it was voice, all of which is part of sound. and people just wanted to get things done and wanted to um, listen to the different cultures because they were interested in the different cultures.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of challenges did you face while you did this project? Because I know the one challenge you had that we were talking about earlier is the actual amount of words that you needed to kind of lower this down to. But what other challenges did you face while you were writing this I want to say book because no, it was a book from the get-go to me.
The problems I got was trying to find the information in other books so that I could use it in my book.
Mm,
Uh, some books that I was looking for, I had to get sent out from England and from Germany and from the United States because we didn't have the books that I wanted to give me the information.
mm-hmm.
And when I wanted to quote somebody, I had to get the books to say, yes, I've got that book. I've got the page number that I've wanted on so and so much and so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
And
Uh-huh.
uh, some books that were just out of print
Oh.
now, I couldn't get them.
Mm.
So I had to dig around in libraries and in museums and all that sort of thing to give me an idea of what I could use, what I can't use, and
Yeah.
um, that sort of thing. And especially when I had to cut things out, I wanted to make sure that if I was going to quote somebody, I didn't quote something out of a book that is no longer available.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That can be tough. I mean, a book out of print is like digging in a hole that you're digging for something that doesn't exist, really. Oh, goodness gracious.
Um, no, 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 no. I feel it's more like digging in a hole to try and find a diamond.
Well, that can be difficult as well. I mean, I don't know. I'd rather, I think we could find gum before we can find diamonds. But definitely, I understand where you're coming from. Did you come across
Or,
any? Go ahead.
or maybe, yeah, finding an opal.
Now, yeah,
They
that.
are that's very hard to find. You've got to
Oh,
go and
yeah.
find out where that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep, yep. I agree. I agree. Did you come across any surprising or little known facts during your research?
Yes, I did. One of the things that I had brought to my attention, I was reading a book. No, I went into a library in one of the universities around here, and I was looking for a particular book under the number and where you could find it in the library. And I was looking at a book, and then I came across the book next door to the book I wanted. And it came to me that our Aboriginals have a way of giving people music by asking radio stations to play certain items that a person wanted. Say, I want you, just for instance, say you were in hospital. I knew you, I knew what sort of music you liked, so I would ring up the radio stations to broadcast it so that you could hear it,
Mm.
and you we would be they would be told that so and so has asked for Yaya to listen to this music because it's his birthday or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Wow. Wow.
And I didn't know that this existed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only in one book that I found that I could relate to this. And it was one of the things that the people who were looking in my book or looking in my thesis, that they didn't know about it, and they said, "Where did you get this information?" And I just said, "Well, there's the book, there's where it's been written." So that's what I used it for, and because
Mhm.
of that, they said, "Yes, it's something that I would never have been able to put, or yeah, never been able to put in a book.
Mm. Wow.
I just used it so in a way that I felt that nobody else knew what was happening except for a small group." And
Mhm.
then I just thought, well, it's my book is really for the world, not just for my country or your country or something in the Arctic or the Antarctic or small islands or something like that. I wanted to make sure that it was available and readable by
Mhm.
people right around the world.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So you mentioned in your book that music was both information and relaxation. How did these roles evolve alongside technology then?
My family,
Mm. Hmm.
my family, it was my what I was brought up with is what my grandfather had as far as music was concerned. I then talked to some of his um, people the same age. I then went to people that were, well, I was listening to music at home,
Mhm.
and I got a lot of my ideas from my father and my mother and my brother and sister, and what they were doing to listen to music and listening to sound and this sort of thing. And other people at school, in the same uh, job that I was doing, and just got a lot of people's ideas of, where they got their information from, where they got their music from, where they got other things from, and where the news came from, and how it was brought out from one radio station's equipment right through, right around Australia or right around America, right around Germany, whatever country you would like to talk about.
Mhm.
And this all sort of made me dig deeper into where the uh, sounds were coming from and how the technology had been improved, because my grandfather didn't have a radiogram for quite a while, or a gramophone. He had the tubes, um, and listened to piano, and went out on to big orchestral things, because he couldn't have any radios in his youth, because they didn't exist.
Wow. That's that that's weird to me though, because I wasn't in that era, I guess.
You are probably too young to have a living grandfather that didn't know where all this was.
Yeah. 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 Well, yeah, now. My grandfather would have, gosh, he passed away at 97 years old in 2006.
He
So
would have had. He
he
would
would
have
have
had.
had, yeah, he would have known. And my grandmother was 102 and she passed away 2 years ago. So yeah, they both would have known. They both would have known. Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
I'm not far out of your grandfather's age group.
Well, that's cool. You looking all pispy and cute and stuff. You look good. I like it. You don't look in the 90s or even in the 80s. People
Oh,
nowadays
80s,
are
yeah.
looking so good.
Early 80s, yes.
Wow. Wow. So you're in your early 80s, right? How do you want this book to contribute to the understanding of sound technology today?
Just to let people know where it came from, not just to accept that sound and music has been forever, because it
Mhm.
hasn't been.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Because of
agree.
AI, because of all the different technologies that have been um, created.
Mhm. Awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I didn't think it just came out of nowhere like poof, sound. So definitely there had to be an evolution of it. And I appreciate what you've done and that you put this book together. This one here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that link up in in the description box so people can actually go to Amazon and find your book and actually know the impact of technology on music composition in the earlier 20th century. Something that really, really you had to study really deeply. And I appreciate that because that's something that all musicians or people who love music or even sound itself can appreciate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything that we missed today that you'd like to say?
Um, well, what I'd like to say is don't just think that sound and music has been forever. Dig deeper, or dig a little bit deeper and find out where and how music and sound has grown over the last 100 years.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what the book is for.
That's wonderful. I love it. Absolutely love it. If you guys are into sound, if you're into music and you want to know the evolution of it all, and if you want to literally be a part of that evolution and you want to make it known that you now are, privy of that information, then I would go ahead and get this book for yourself. Mr. Beeson, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. And I
I
finally got you on
appreciate.
camera. I
Well, you've
finally
seen
got
my
you.
book.
I
You've
have.
seen my book.
Yes. It is beautiful. I
You've
like
seen
hardcovers.
me. You've seen me. Now
Yes.
all you've got to do is read it.
That's it. That's it. Well, Mr. Beeson, thank you for your contribution. And thank you so much for being, used so that you can literally show people where sound did come from. You have more books, Mr. Beeson?
No, I don't. The reason for that is that I started this idea probably in my late 70s or 70s, and the looking at it, getting all the information, writing it, being it, having to chop it here and chop it there and whatever else, finding a publisher that's willing to do it, to publish it, has taken me 7 years.
Wow.
And I don't think that I could do another 7 years' work to
I
write another
doubt
book.
that. I doubt it's going to take you 7 years. You just go back to tranquility.
Well,
Hey,
it wasn't just tranquility. It was just a lot of hard work. Hard work to try and find out where I wanted to, what I wanted to talk about, and make it readable.
I got you. I understand that. Well, Mr. Beeson, you might be sitting around twiddling your thumbs. According to you, your parents lived very long, and I think you're not going anywhere anytime soon. Well,
Thank you,
thank you.
Yaya.
No problem, Mr. Beaston. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to put the link in the description box so it'll be easy for you guys to go ahead and find that book. A lot of times we just sit down in the corner. I absolutely love to sit next to a window on a window seat, open up a book, have a cup of coffee or some tea and maybe some popcorn or something and read a great book. Staying out of this TV and and getting away from the social media and all that stuff is beautiful. And just having an area in your home somewhere on on your property or even near your apartment building or wherever you may live to actually sit down and read a book. I used to go to the beach and sit on the rocks, and it was beautiful. Beautiful. So I think that this is something that you can appreciate, you guys. You know, learning where sound came from and being aware of all the sounds that now are around you is an amazing thing. It definitely is. Mr. Beeston, thank you again so much.
A pleasure.
And it's my pleasure as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And this has been courtesy of Tranquility Press. Thank you guys again so much. Bye. Thank you for watching.